Today's guest brings a rare and powerful perspective to the table. Alex Lopez is a civil litigator specializing in property insurance claims across Florida. What makes his story especially compelling is that he started his career on the other side, defending some of the largest insurance companies in the state. Now he dedicates his practice entirely to helping homeowners and business owners recover the compensation they're entitled to. His work is rooted in knowledge, advocacy, and trust, and that translates directly into how he shows up online, and he's one of our clients. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you. It's nice to be a guest on a podcast instead of hosting my own for once.
Yes. And tell us about the podcast that you have.
Oh, it's Florida Panthers podcast, diehard Panthers fan my entire life. And, now that we're good, it's good to have a podcast talking hockey, but it's just a way to blow off some steam and, get away from work and have some fun doing that. But, it's fun to now do a business podcast.
Yes.
It's a new experience for me.
Yes. I mean, for me too, I listened to podcasts for years, and then everyone was like, I always have questions about social media and you always have the answers. And why don't you just start a podcast and people can listen and find out? And I was like, you know what? Sure. And here we are today filming episode 31. So it's been 31 weeks of doing this and I'm having a blast.
Yeah, that's honestly the best part of it is it's just like, I love talking about hockey, or I love talking about the law, and
yes,
why not record yourself doing it? If people listen to it, great. If not, I still had fun.
Exactly. So let's start with beginning of your career. Walk us through your career path and what led you to property insurance law.
I basically have family in the insurance industry.
Yeah.
So it was an easy step to say, okay, I know I've been inside the insurance industry my entire life, seeing my family. And, why not just go into it? And that's why I ended up on the defense side and representing carriers, because I had family who, were insurance agents and whatnot. So to me, that was the natural step. And then as I was getting into it, I realized a few things. One, there's really good people on the insurance side, and I would like to think my family is like that, really care about their clients, and they care about doing what's best for them. And when they have a problem or a claim, that they do everything they can to get them covered. And then there's people who don't. And usually it's the people who are in charge and people in charge of the money who don't care. And I've found myself really seeing homeowners and that we're just getting taken advantage of with the system. And I'd be telling the client, whichever carrier I was representing at that time, like, hey, this is a real claim. Like, I can see the damage. Here's why this should have been covered. And the response would be, no, I disagree. Offer them, pennies on the dollar, just see if they'll take it or drag it out, and just all of these excuses. And I was like, this is not who I want to be representing. And that's really,
Is that why you made the shift?
That's why I made the shift. And I knew we were going to get into it, but it all kind of goes together. Like, I spent, almost 2 years representing insurance companies, and I just realized real quickly it wasn't where I wanted to be. And if I wanted to be like my family and follow my family's lead in terms of actually helping people, I couldn't do it from the carrier side. I had to be, representing the homeowners themselves.
Yeah. And did that shift feel like a natural then, shift because you felt like, okay, I want to help people? Or was there some big transition or learning curve?
There's always a learning curve because, when you're switching sides, it's the same, for a more easier example, like if you're a prosecutor, trying to put criminals in jail, and then you switch sides and now you're trying to keep them out of jail, you're looking at a case completely different. Instead of why is this person guilty, is how is this person not guilty?
Yeah.
It's the same thing in homeowners insurance where it's like, okay, why should this claim have been denied? Why is the insurance company do the right thing? Now you got to shift your brain. Instead of trying to poke holes in the case, you're trying to plug any holes you find and show the good things. So it definitely takes a little bit. Some people are quicker than others when it comes to, switching their brain. But to me, it was a pretty natural progression because my entire philosophy was, hey, I want to help people do what's right for people.
Yes.
And, when I realized there wasn't nearly as much fraud as they say, it was, hey, I'm on the wrong side of this. And it was a pretty quick transition to, now.
That makes sense. And I think that's one of the bigger selling points that we do for your social medias. When we do your videos or we're advertising, we say that you had that experience on the other side. And having that experience just makes you a stronger lawyer and stronger, you kind of know their tricks or what angles they're going to go for. It's like I watched the TV show on Netflix, The Lincoln Lawyer. Have you heard of it? Do you watch it?
My wife and I were watching it last night. It's one of our favorite shows. The law aspect of it isn't the most accurate, but it is a very entertaining show.
So I was connecting it because in the latest season, which I guess, spoiler alert, if people don't want to listen to this part, just fast forward. But in this season, his ex-wife, who's a prosecutor, is now defending him.
Oh, see, I haven't gotten to that part yet, so spoil it before.
But I didn't spoil it that bad because that's like it's like the rest of the whole season, like the whole season of it. But she knows what the prosecutors are going to go for.
Right.
So it's a nice, it's kind of the same thing in that sense. It's a very similar balance.
Yeah, and anyone who tells, I mean, it's really any industry, but anyone who tells you like, oh, I know exactly what they're going to do, and they haven't been on that side, they're not right.
Right.
You need that experience on both sides to know what they're thinking, know, what policy limits are, or just in general, like, hey, I know that X carrier can get up to $50,000 without having to call a manager. Like, you only know that if you've been on that side and worked for that carrier.
Right. They're not going to give away their secrets just because.
Right. It's not something you're going to get. Someone's going to tell you at a convention. Like, you got to work for them to find out.
Exactly. And in law, people don't just hire expertise, they hire people they trust. And in social media, that also plays a big role in trying to convey why people should trust you and trust brands. So why do you think trust is so critical in property insurance cases?
I think trust is everything.
Yeah.
Both in property insurance, but just picking a lawyer in general, like, you only have to hire a lawyer when you really need one. Like, very rarely someone's like, oh, yeah, I get to hire a lawyer. It's, oh, great, I have to hire a lawyer.
Right.
And trust is the most important thing. And it's really the mistake that so many people make is that they just go for the guy on the billboard, like the big, the big firms that you hear everywhere. And I'm not going to name them by name, but you know who they are.
Exactly.
Like, they're everywhere. And I can't tell you, like, we were at a community event a couple of weeks ago, Greek Fest up in Boca, and someone had a personal injury claim, which my firm also handles. And he hired the big guy and asked, well, why'd you hire him? And he goes, well, because, their billboards are everywhere. And they hired him, and, he ended up getting like 20% of the settlement in his pocket. And not the insurance company, the big guy took like 75% of it.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, because you never built trust with them. Like,
yes.
They you hired them because their name was everywhere. And yeah, that's great marketing. And I'm sure, their marketing.
It comes from somewhere, though. That money comes from somewhere.
Right. It comes from somewhere. But like, if you're not building trust with your attorney and you don't trust your attorney to do the right thing for you, like, you've already lost. Like,
yes,
you've already lost.
It's so true. And how do clients typically find you or your firm?
I mean, our business is based on word of mouth.
Referrals, yeah.
We do some marketing as we're a client of Go Social Media, and you do a wonderful job for us. But we're not trying to be that company that, oh, well, you see the name Tarnowski Lopez everywhere, so I'm going to call them. It's
reputation.
It's reputation.
Yes.
It's, you helped my neighbor. You did a great job for them. You got them a whole bunch of money for a claim they had. I want you to represent me. It's
and I say that a lot with a lot of our social media clients. Like, sure, you can flood it and spend a ton of money at advertising dollars, or you could just have a really solid presence and know that maybe your business is relying on referrals, word of mouth. But if someone gets 3 to 4 referrals or 3 to 4, they ask 3 different neighbors and everyone has a different opinion, and then they go to search you up, what are they seeing when they search you up? That's going to be more powerful because now they have that recommendation on their mind. Then they're seeing the website. Then they're seeing the social. But to see social media first for like a lawyer, a realtor, any kind of, personal decision, it's hard that's a hard sell to just push and to really gain their trust that way. But if people are already, saying these people are great or they did wonders for me, and then they look at the digital, it's only adding to the case and not subtracting.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And that's exactly our philosophy in terms of our marketing with Code Social Media is we want you to hear our name, look us up, and then find what we think are very informational clips that we put on our social media that can hopefully already answer some of the questions you may have.
Yes. And,
in some cases, it might answer the question and you don't even, you may call us to confirm it, but you don't need to hire me. And that's okay because in my opinion, I helped you out. If my clip helped you out and you don't hire me, at the end of the day, that's fine with me, because my hope is you are going to say, okay, well, I looked at the Tarnowski Lopez clips on social media. They answered this question without even me having to call them. But when I do have a claim, or when my neighbor needs a claim, that's whose name I'm going to use.
Exactly. And we talk a lot about education and consistency. So it's having that educational content that's showing that you guys are thought leaders. You know what you're talking about. You know what you do. And people also can relate when they see education. They're learning, but they also can be like, oh, he seems like a cool guy. I'd call him. Not like, oh, he seems stuffy, or, oh, I'm intimidated, or, oh, he has an ego. You know, it's very realistic, authentic. And then also it's consistent content. I think people get caught up in social media of, you know, someone's niece's sister's brother says you should do a ton of posts. People do a ton of posts. They get burnt out, and then they never post again for months. So it's having that balance of great content and consistency that really kind of helps push it over.
Yeah, and I think it really matters in terms of the kind of content, because it's like, what are you trying to be? Are you trying to be an influencer?
Right.
Or are you trying to, you know, build a brand for your company, or you build a brand for yourself? Like, you know, there's a lot of lawyers out there where it's like, anytime there's some viral clip of like a fight or something, they're going in there and it's like, well, here's the assault, and here's this, and here's that. And I'm just like, what are you doing?
Right. It doesn't fit.
Right. Like,
and it's true. Like, I'm never asking any of my clients or you guys to be like, and do a funny TikTok dance. Like, that's just not who you are, not for the brand. And it's not necessary. It's not authentic. When people are looking for a lawyer, it's because they probably had something happen to them where they need help, and not to see some prank or some dance going viral.
Yeah. Like, I mean, this was not a lawyer one, but it was like the women's empowerment one where like they were all like doing like TikTok dances, like 5'2" in a mini skirt or whatever. And and I was just like, yeah, I'm all for women in any field they want to be in, but like, you guys just made yourself look like clowns on social media and gave ammunition to everyone who, you know, is a chauvinist out there. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly. And sometimes you almost feel like it's rage bait, but I think that's why sometimes there's hesitation in law and other professional services to show up online. I think people feel that, you know, the content that performs best isn't promotional, and it somehow has to be entertaining, but entertainment can still be educational and have, you know, a human feel, and still can be clear. So that goes to lead to me to ask you, what does authenticity look like for a law firm on social media?
I mean, not to, you know, pat ourselves on the back, and I say ourselves because we work together on this, but like, I really like our content. It's, hey, what are problems that homeowners or, you know, people have in the state of Florida regarding personal injury or homeowners insurance, and what's the answer? And I think that's the kind of content that you should be putting out there as an attorney. It's educational, and it's really just trying to connect to your audience and say, hey, these are the common problems. You don't even need to call an attorney. I'm answering it for you here.
Yes.
But if you need to have more questions, give me a call.
Exactly. And I think people don't realize that they're not scripted. And if you watch it, you probably can, you know, pick up on that. But nothing's scripted in the content we're filming or even talking here. Like, I have notes, but nothing scripted, because you want to see that person have the expertise on hand. And it's nice to have someone, you know, look for what they're about to say and then say it. It just feels more real that way.
Yeah, I mean, conversations are the best way to kind of do these things, because, you know, if someone's reading off a script or they've clearly memorized it, like, you know, that's not what being a lawyer is. It's like, yeah, a lot of it is motion practice and writing and being prepared, and that's very important. But,
of course,
you know, when you're in the courtroom and you're in a hearing, you're thinking on your feet. You can't just read off a script, you know, especially if a judge is pushing back on you.
Yes.
Like, you need to be ready to adapt and move at the same time. And, you know, so you want your content to kind of feel the same way. And it's like, hey, yeah, you may know what the kind of questions are in advance, or you have seen the questions, but like, if you've written out answers ahead of time, congratulations. You looked at a book, wrote it down, and read off a script, and you gave canned responses, and that comes out.
It does. It really does. And that also leads me to ask you, you know, the difference between, you know, plain language education versus legal jargon. You know, how do you find a good balance or a way to translate it for someone to understand versus just pulling out all these legal terms?
I think that's crucial. When you're talking to a client, and in a way when you're putting out content on social media, especially the way we do, you're essentially talking to the client. You need to be able to put it in plain language, because you want them to connect with it and understand it. Obviously, it's sometimes you have to use the legal jargon, but you have to make sure to explain what that means as you're saying it. But if you're just going out there and spin out words like motion to compel and ex parte communication and blah, 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 like they have no idea what you're talking about. And you're just trying to make yourself sound smart, but
you probably lost them.
Right. You lost them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, it's building trust faster when you can be able to translate that into something they can understand. They're going to feel less trusting of an attorney if they're like, I don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of firms do is they we're not talking about marketing now. We're, going back to, some of the big guys where they'll just start talking at you, talking fast, using big words, and all of a sudden 75% of your settlement is missing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, there was fees for this, costs for this, and copies cost 10 cents a page, and we had to make 150,000 copies. And sorry.
Yeah, no, that's major. And I also want to discuss, consistency over perfection when building authority online. I think we talked about this when we sat down to start the podcast. You were like, oh, you have notes. And when I do my podcast, we just show up. But you know what? Sometimes it's not the perfection. It's just being consistent, showing up weekly and being authentic and putting yourself out there. And I think a lot of people hold themselves back from creating content or from being online because they want everything to be so perfect.
Yeah, and I've honestly noticed it when we do our work, like, when I'm filming with you for the law firm.
Yeah.
I feel that, like, where I have to be perfect and I can't make a mistake because this is professional Alex, not fun sports Alex, where it's just like having a conversation, essentially having a conversation while drinking beers with your buddies. Like, no, this is professional Alex. I have to be perfect. And I feel it, and I know it's wrong. But again, it's just that shift in mentality where it's like, I've got the suit on. Everything has to be perfect.
Yeah, and I think more people are leaning into that, like, it's not perfection that sells or not perfection that win people over. But I think, when social media first started, everyone was going from TV to then social. It's a big difference.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And it goes back to the authenticity where it's just like, if you're not perfect, it's okay. And people connect. And we're really going through that as like basically a society where it's, whether there's body image or intelligence or whatever, it's like you don't have to be perfect to fit in. And it's honestly kind of, it's refreshing. Like, I'm a bigger guy, so it's like to know, like, hey, the fact that I'm a little bit overweight is not the end of the world anymore. Like, it's freeing as a society, and it's a great thing. But at the same time, like, can be too much.
Yes, it's finding that balance and riding that line. So we close out every episode with a few quick questions that we ask every guest. So it's your turn. What's your favorite current social media platform and why? And this could be a personal favorite.
It depends. If I'm looking for engagement about sports, it's clearly Twitter. I'm old. I still call it Twitter. I'm never going to call it X.
Yeah.
But if I'm just looking to kill some time, I'm on TikTok like everybody else. Just watching videos and
it's quite addictive
and losing time. Yeah. I used to read books, and now I'm on TikTok. It's terrible, but that's kind of the way it goes.
Yes.
But yeah, the TikTok is probably my favorite social media just to kill some time, just because there's so much good stuff out there. And then obviously Instagram Reels is the same thing, but
yeah, something for everyone. I know we were talking about like Disney cruises, and a lot of times too, I'll watch TikToks of people who took the cruise before me, so I can be like, okay, I don't want to miss that spot, or like this is a trick, or like this bar has this famous drink, I need to go get that. So it's almost like a travel planner also.
You and me are the same, because my wife and I do that all the time. Like, we'll be going to Disney, and it's like it'll all of a sudden come in our algorithm because we know our devices listen to us. And it's like, oh, we're going to stay at this hotel this time. What restaurant should we eat at? What drink should we get? And then it's a game between ourselves. Like, did we already know this? Yeah, we're that much Disney adults.
Yes, it's so true. So my next question is, what's one social media trend that you wish would disappear?
6'7".
Oh, yes. The fact that we even said it, I agree. Yep.
Look, I get it. When we were kids, we had 69 and, and the coughing game and just things like that. And that's just all 6'7".
There's always something.
There's always something that the middle school kids are going to be doing that catches on wildfire. But then, like, I think did we see it during a presidential election? We saw it in the NFL draft.
Yes.
And I was just like, oh, come on.
There was even during the Bad Bunny Super Bowl, someone got on camera, like one of the bushes doing like the 6'7" hands. And I'm like, you're supposed to be blending in and doing your part, not pulling attention.
It's just, but again, I'm old. I turned 38 today, 37 today. So I'm like,
today?
Yeah, today.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday.
Thank you. So, so I'm just like, it's just me, old man yells at clouds, Simpsons meme. Like that's me, 6'7". It just drives me nuts.
Yes. And it's one thing to let the kids just have it, but I have seen like brands or people trying to capture attention on TikTok or Instagram by doing that.
Yeah. And that's, but and that's, again, where it's the authenticity. It's like, look, this is a thing for kids. Let the kids enjoy it. It may annoy me, but like, it's for them. Let them
exactly.
Enjoy it. Like, when you try to do it, and now I remember what it was. It was the college football playoff when they were doing the rankings, and and the commissioner was like 6'7" when he was saying like the two teams like 6 and 7, and like just comes off so fake, and everyone absolutely roasted him for it.
Right.
So
it's not necessary.
Right. It just wasn't necessary. So yeah.
So I have a bonus question for you. What advice would you give young attorneys building their personal brand in today's world?
Oh, I love this. The advice is really simple. Be authentic and decide what you want to be. If you want to be an influencer attorney on Instagram and TikTok, that's fine.
Go all in then.
Go all in. Be that. But know that your actual life as an attorney is going to change. Right. You're going to lose, you're not going to get that respect in the industry. You're going to be the TikTok attorney. But hey, influencers make really good money, so that is a viable path.
Right.
But choose the path you want and stick to it. You want to be the influencer attorney, be the influencer attorney. If you want to use social media to build a brand and build your company, then, make your content educational. I'm not saying you can't do fun content.
Right.
You should. There's a law firm, I actually really like what they do. They mix their educational content, and they'll do fun things like they'll come in the prompt. They'll prompt one of the attorneys and say, hey, this scene from the Avengers Endgame, like when someone comes in and, punches and throws a shield or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what are all the intentional torts here? Like, it's a law school question, and then they're having fun with it.
And it's authentic to them. Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of like, hey, we're talking about law, we're having fun. And like, yeah, that's some of the content you can do out there. Is it going to generate you business? No, but it's going to get you clicks.
Right.
And hopefully now they're in your algorithm, and they're seeing your educational content.
Exactly.
Saying, oh, hey, not only are these guys fun, where I'd want to sit and have a beer with them, they know their stuff.
Yeah, so that's a long play.
Yeah, and that's absolutely a smart way to do it.
Yeah, that's a great piece of advice. So, Alex, thank you for sharing your perspective and the work that you do, advocating for homeowners and business owners. This conversation is a great reminder that credibility is built through clarity, consistency, and showing up with integrity online and offline. I will tag your social media account so everyone can follow and see the great work that we're all doing together. And happy birthday.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun. Like I said, it's the first time I've been a guest on a podcast in a long time. So it was fun to be on the other side of the microphone, but this was a lot of fun, and I hope we get to do it again.
Yeah, thanks so much.